Welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Toronto FC versus Philadelphia Union, MLS 2025, Week 16. We are here. We're ready to go. Toronto playing a really good Philly side. Philly putting out their best 11, but Philly, one of the top teams in the East. Toronto FC, they are what they are. They're playing at home, though, but no Bernadeschi due to yellow card accumulation. No Cozy Thompson either. But it's going to be a tough one. It was already tough. It's going to be a tough one. No Insigne either. Well, he's on the bench. Dominguez as well. Okay, they're just going for Saturday then. Okay, but we'll have to talk about it. So here we are. Here we go. Toronto FC playing Philadelphia today. And then the next game they play will be Charlotte at home on Champions League Saturday. So, how we doing, Mile High? Rapids tonight? Yeah, everybody's playing tonight. This isn't a one-off. It's a midweek that everybody's playing on, or at least as far as I could tell. Starting 11s are as follows. For Toronto FC, in goal, we have Sean Johnson, the back four of Henry Wingo, Zane Monlouis. He's actually starting. Raul Petretta, Tyrese Spicer. Midfield four, Jonathan Osorio, Davy Flores, Alonso Coelho, Theo Corbianu. And the front two of Ulla Brynhildsen and Derek Etienne Jr. For Philadelphia Union, we have Andre Blake, the back four of Francis Westfield, Jakob Glesnes, Nathan Harriel, Kai Wagner, midfield four of Quinn Sullivan, yes, Jesus Bueno, Jovan Lukic, Indiana Vasilev, and the front two of Tabaribo and Bruno Damiani. So, that's what they got. We got to see Chelsea win live on this channel. Interesting situation, interesting match, but they won. Now we get to watch Toronto FC play, which probably won't be that fun, but it'll be over before you know it. And we'll review the game once it's over. But we'll see how that goes. With that being said, this is the third of four pieces of content of the day. Of course, this match is this live's the third piece. The review will be the fourth. We're off tomorrow. We have a prediction for the Champions Cup final on Friday, and then Saturday we got a triple threat, 3 streams, 3 reviews on Saturday with the Champions League final, PSG versus Inter Milan, not Miami, Milan. First, live review, then TFC versus Charlotte, the aforementioned match, second live review, and then third, we'll have enough time to be live and review for the LAFC Club America Club World Cup Repechaje play-in match. Then we'll review that. That's 6 pieces of content on Saturday. Yeah. You think today's crazy, but it's a look into our summer, because our summer is going to be crazy on this channel. I'll do as many games as I can of both the Gold Cup and the Club World Cup. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. But you think Saturday's going to be, you think today was crazy, Saturday's going to be, but our whole summer is going to be crazy after, the first 2 weeks of June? And who knows what that looks like. So, how we doing, Winvo? I'm doing good. I'm happy Chelsea won. Waiting for this Toronto game to start, and we do this. We go live for this and then review it. Then I'll be playing some FIFA Mobile, whatever the hell goes there. Because we got FIFA Mobile. So, FIFA Mobile is I'm sad that Anthony didn't win, but congratulations, Chelsea. I mean, you know what? I kind of wish he wasn't a meme anymore, but, I guess we could still say Timbers Anthony is better. I hope you mean temperature, because I don't know why they would care about a Betis versus Chelsea game, but Maybe I know something. You know something I don't. Either way, I would hope you mean temperature, which, yeah, it's about time of the year for that. It's about time of the year for that. So I can't help you. I don't know how to fix a HVAC. So game's about to start. Nice. Good. But I mean, I guess it could be worse, you know. You could lose your power for no reason and have your house surrounded by bears. No, that didn't happen to me, but that was crazy to hear. Like, that was crazy to hear. Like, losing your power is one thing, but you can't put on a generator because that's crazy. Your house is surrounded by bears. You can't turn on the generator either. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, guess where I heard that from? Didn't happen to me. So I could only imagine. That's crazy. At least you still have power. Not what I was talking about, but okay. Damn. What's with all the bears? That is not what I was talking about. That was only one. I said four. I said four. But either way, what's with all the bears? Jesus Christ. I think Rory could figure it out. Bledsoe didn't hear it, so. Like, it's so crazy. I just couldn't help bring that up. Couldn't help but bring that up. It's so crazy. I just couldn't help but bring that up. Sean Johnson in goal. Roll, Petretta, Zane Monlouis, Henry Wingo, the back three. Oh, it's a back three. Okay. Tyrese Spicer, Jonathan Osorio, Davey Flores, Alonzo Coelho, Derek Etienne Jr., Theo Corbianu, and Ulla Brynhildsen up top. Why is Spot Mob so wrong? I will. Chelsea's in it. Messi's also playing in it. Well, we're going to find out. Starting 11, Andre Blake for Philadelphia Union, of course. The back four of Wagner, Harriel, Glesnes, Westfield, Bueno, Lukic, Vasilev, Sullivan, Damiani, and Baribo. I don't care about the Club World Cup. I'm covering it. If it's a waste of my time, that would suck. Then again, it isn't the first time. Won't be the last. Jonathan Osorio, the player to watch for TFC. So he scores a banger on his return, and he's the player to watch. Okay, sure. Sure. Ty Baribo, the player to watch for the Philadelphia Union. Huidad fans made Ronaldo jerseys the night before he rejected going. Oh, so he rejected Huidad. Oh. Well, that sucks. Cristiano, like, he's got to be realistic at this point. Philadelphia Union wearing their away kits, their baby blue and pale yellow kits, whatever they call them. Toronto wearing their red kits. So what I wonder is how the hell did iShowSpeed have the Club World Cup trophy in his streaming room? Like, are there multiple Club World Cup trophies? Hell, my question is Club Leon's name still going to be etched on the trophy now that they're pushed out of the tournament? I wonder. I also wonder that, but whoever bought one was so dumb. Well, I mean, if Cristiano, let's just say Cristiano came to Chelsea on Club World Cup loan, like he was only there for a month. He only was there for the Club World Cup. Say they did that because they actually need a striker to win and they wouldn't keep him because he ruins the wage structure, but he gets there for that 1 month loan. And I would buy a Cristiano Chelsea jersey. I legit would. If he was only there for a month, I'd buy a Cristiano Chelsea jersey. I know I said it. Yeah, I would. I would. Pachuca will get him for the Club World Cup. I could see that, but then why not James? Why not both? Considering, I mean, James got screwed over by Cass, and you own him technically because you own both clubs because, well, I don't think the fact Pachuca owns both clubs got him knocked out of the Club World Cup. I think James running his mouth. I don't think FIFA would have given a shit unless James basically went after Messi. Like he said, oh, CONMEBOL protects Argentina for Messi and all that. And that's what started all this. Because Alajuelense was bringing this up for months. Nothing happened. Just so happens as soon as James runs his mouth about Messi being helped by FIFA referees, what happened? Like, am I the only one? Like, I don't think that's crazy to believe. I don't think it's crazy to believe that not copyright, conspiracy theory. I don't think it's crazy because, like, seriously, Alajuelense was getting nowhere with the Leon situation, the multipropiedad, but then James had to run his mouth about FIFA helping Messi during the Copa and all that, and that's when shit started going wrong for Leon. That's when they got pulled. Like, I don't think the multipropiedad had anything to do with it. Leon's biggest player ran afoul of FIFA, and that's what hammered him. So, yeah, Olaf Melberg got fired. Honestly, I have no sympathy for him. Deserved. I told you they should have just let John Hackworth be the coach. I told you. Should have just been John Hackworth. Let it be. They were dumb enough not to. And then guess what happens? John Hackworth is not the interim this time. It's Critchley, the City 2 interim. But Hackworth is now coaching City 2 again because he coached him that first year and all that. What the hell? Well, I guess Hackworth didn't want to be the interim twice in a row once he got screwed over the first time, or are they going to try to pull out a coach quicker this time? Like actually hire a real coach this time quicker? Maybe Hackworth doesn't even feel like it's going to be the whole season this time. I don't know. Or maybe he was pissed off they didn't choose him in the first place because, just like me, it made sense to freaking hire him in the first place. Like, I think anybody would have told you they were playing well under him that summer. They should have just let him be. But no. No. RB Leipzig 3-1 Santos, 75th minute. We're talking about the Brazilian Santos, right? So what? Leipzig came over for the Club World Cup. They're already here. They're already in this side of the globe, I should say. On this side of the globe, I should say. Yeah. 3-1 Leipzig over Santos. That makes sense. Also, yes. Also, yes. And he also took Vasilev as well, which I guess. But yeah, no, they railroaded him too. But I'm saying if you weren't going to keep Carnell, you keep John Hackworth. You railroaded both for this random dude I never heard of, and he only gets 3 wins. I don't think Olaf Melberg will get an MLS job ever again, let alone anything else. He will not be on the rotation carousel of MLS managers. I'll tell you that much. Bob Bradley has a better chance of getting another MLS job than Olaf Melberg. Why? Because Bob Bradley at least won things in 2002. Guido Gonzalez Jr., the center ref. Also the Shield in 2019. But VAR referee Jurasevich. See where that goes. Here we go. The Brazil Santos. Okay. Here we go. Surprise me, Toronto. They won't. They won't. Surprise me. Surprise me. Surprise me. Bob Bradley's expired milk. Yes. Yes. But at least he won things in 2002, so I don't think he'll get another MLS job, but I'm just saying it's more likely that he gets one than Melberg. He has no chance. If I see somebody else hire Olaf Melberg, I am going to laugh. Thank you. And we're off. Match 2 of 2 today. Piece of content 3 of 4 because we still have the review. Headed on. Surprise me, Toronto. They won't. Good tackle by Davy Flores, but it goes straight back to a Union player. Okay. Playing forward. Oh, what a pass. Cross. Sean Johnson gets it. Well, I mean, he kind of had to. There was no area. Baribo passes it. Why is he holding his... Is he holding his wrist or his crotch? What, did he hurt his wrist running into the ad boards, or did he nut shot himself? I can't tell. Frankly. He was still running, so it's probably a wrist injury. Yeah, that's a good point. Probably. Spicer. Oh, Tyrese, you could have cut it a little bit, but okay. Okay. It's raining in Toronto. 53 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 Celsius. Monlouis starting. Yep, finally. I wonder if it's because Cozy's out or they finally actually started him. Oh, he enjoys the commentator today. Well, I'm not listening to it, so there you go. Well, actually, okay. Okay, that was harsh. I will say what Ian Joy does on Galazzo on a Scoreline. I'm starting to gain more respect for Ian Joy. You know, starting to gain more respect for him. I actually think he's done well on Scoreline. I've actually agreed with him a good amount of times on Golasso when I do watch it. Yeah. I might be misremembering a little bit, but I think they were talking about, one thing I agreed with recently was they were talking about Tottenham winning a trophy, and the host, which I think it was Whittingham, I think, was saying, like, it doesn't matter. They won a trophy. They still finished 17th. And Ian Joy was like, they won a trophy. They had a good season. Winning a trophy is what matters. Winning a trophy is what matters. So what if you finished lower than you should? You still won a trophy. And they're going to Champions League, so does it matter? They had a good season. They won a trophy. They're going to Champions League. They had a good season. And I agree. Brynhildsen, cross, Spicer, header. Not good enough, but he wasn't going to put that past He wasn't going to put that past Andre Blake anyway. I wonder if they rested Andre Blake against Miami. Why are they trying to go so full out on Toronto? I'd put everything against Miami and then rotate against Toronto. But no, they just going full out against Toronto. Look who's in the booth for the Timbers game tonight. Jake Zivin, Ross Smith. Awesome. Awesome. How we doing, soccer guy? How we doing? Ford Taco Truck stands across the street from my Anaheim hotel. Me and my homie are going to hit them up late at night. Late night tacos. That sounds amazing. Especially if they're actually somewhat authentic tacos instead of Taco Bell. Now, late night Taco Bell is nice too. That's probably I mean, you could do it sober. I would, but that seems like, I just got finished partying. I'm hungry. Let's go to Taco Bell. That's probably how you get the bubble guts, though. That makes sense. That makes sense. But authentic tacos, late night, that sounds amazing. Like sitting on like a bench or like a flower bed or whatever from like a taco truck, sitting on a flower bed or a bench, eating those tacos. Yeah. That sounds peak. I won't even lie. That sounds peak. Exactly. Wow. Australia has a hockey league. Wow. That's the surprising part of all that. I won't question people playing very old. Jaromir Jagr, right? I'm just surprised Australia has a league. I want to watch it, see how good it is. It's probably shit, but I knew Britain had a league. I knew they had a league. I know, of course, Russia, Switzerland, the European leagues, of course, but Australia. Either the transmissions of the games look like shit or the games actually look like shit. I know what shit hockey looks like. I watched the rebuilding Toronto Maple Leafs. So I could tell. Placer. Nice. How we doing, Blitzo? Yep. Semi-pro. Well, I figured, but what, did you find out about the Australian League about that news, or? Like, he's got to be so 40 years old and didn't even try to go to Europe. He just said, screw it, I'll go to Australia. He must be, well, he could be Australian. That would make a little bit more sense. Yeah, that would make a little bit more sense that the dude is Australian. Booth does kind of sound like an Australian last name, so good point. It's like, well, recent Facebook reels. Did you watch LFG? No, I don't have A&E. I don't have A&E. YouTube TV doesn't have it, so no. Not that I would have anyway. Because, I mean, I've been booked most Sundays since that show started, first of all. Second of all, as in like hockey or football or whatever, had a stream, so there you go. But booked, like had a stream, not had a match or whatever. Yeah. Having a stream means I'm booked. I'm not booked. I'm not booked. I'm not booked. Whatever meme that is. I'm not fucking booked! With a horrible Scottish accent. I'm not fucking booked! That was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. 9th minute, 8th minute. That was not a Scottish accent. That was, I don't know what that was. That was horrible. 0-0. No. But even if I wanted to, I probably couldn't. Because they probably lost the one European final they'll ever go to. I understand it. That's their first ever European final. Might be their last. Like, those people don't know. Like Chelsea, you know they'll probably make a European final again within our lifetime. Maybe a couple. But when you win, if it is the only one, at least you won. Chelsea fans are spoiled, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying they are. Betis fans have never been to a European final. Or a lot of them haven't. I think it is their first European final overall. They don't even have one prehistorically. Playing for it is Philly. So you don't know. You don't know, and that could be their only one. And they lost it. I totally understand. They had a freaking, I wouldn't say Cinderella run, but they were the La Liga team in Conference League. Of course they went deep, but they did their job. Sometimes you don't do your job. I mean, that group stage was kind of scary, but knockout stage, they did their job. And it's a run they hate to see end, and they know they might not see a European final for a long time, if not ever again. I understand it. Saw a couple nice fights from that league recently. I'm underwhelming impression. It's pretty physical and competitive. Well, if it's bad, it's physical. Like, yeah, physical, that makes sense. That makes sense. Which is why I don't know if this is going to make the traditionalists mad, but I kind of hate that the IAAF doesn't allow fighting. International hockey doesn't allow fighting. Like, just look at how much better it would be if you did. Look at the Four Nations face-off. That was NHL ran. Also helped by the federations, but it was NHL rules. They allowed fighting. Well, fighting was still a penalty, but it was what, 5 instead of game, right? 3 fights by Canada and the USA. I'm surprised there wasn't a fight in the final. But, like, what a save by Sean Johnson. What a save. Damiani with a freaking overhead kick. It wasn't really a Pele kick, but Sean Johnson makes a save. He didn't have a good final. That's football. LFG was somewhat entertaining. A few of the athletes have some, the others not so much. Other than that, all right of a show. I still miss Tough Enough. Tough Enough was amazing. Even the 2015 season, but I think Tough Enough is a better proof of concept than LFG from what I did see. I still think Tough Enough is a better proof of concept. Even the 2015 version of Tough Enough, which, I'd say it had more positive reviews than not, but header, I thought it was good. If Chelsea was in Europa League, I mean, Tottenham won the Europa League. Oso, Baribo. Don't tell me this is a penalty. I mean, Baribo and Oso got tangled up. Corner? I think they could have won the Europa League. They wouldn't have won the Champions League. I think they were in the perfect league to okay, Blitzo. Well, I mean, None of them, because they don't win trophies. Probably what, the FA Cup? Yeah, we'll just stick with the FA Cup. We know they can win that. Throw in. She just got friend zoned. Well, it's just like American Idol. The people who win American Idol, that you don't remember them. Who remembers David Cook? He has good music. Well, besides me, I still like David Cook's music. I mean, some of the songs that he had were awesome. I don't really listen to his new stuff, but I mean, I still think Light On was an amazing song. Come Back to Me, amazing song. Time of My Life, amazing song. But who remembers David Cook? Who remembers Taylor Hicks? Right. Yeah, you remember Carrie Underwood. She did really good. Kelly Clarkson did really good. Nobody remembers Fantasia. Nobody remembers Ruben Studdard. And that was when Idol was at its peak. Nobody remembers Chris Allen. Nobody remembers, okay, well, Scotty McCreery's actually done pretty good, but it wasn't on his Idol contract. It was more him on his own. But Scotty ended up doing pretty well, just not instantly. I'm also a country fan, so that might help. But Philip Phillips, after 2011, who remembers him? He had a good start. Nobody remembers him. Let's see. But people remember Daughtry. People remember Kelly Pickler. People remember Blake Lewis. Well, you know what? No, people do remember Blake Lewis, I think. Yeah. David Archuleta, sort of. People remember Adam Lambert. He's the front man for Queen. I don't know if it's... people remember Gabby Barrett if you want to go to the ABC years. People don't remember, was it Caleb Hutchinson that first year? No, Maddie Poppy. Yeah, nobody remembers her. Alejandro Aranda, they remember him. People remember E.M. Tongi. He's like the one winner people remember from the ABC era. People remember Arthur Gunn. Nobody remembers Just Sam. So my point being is this. Weirdly enough, these talent shows, these superstar shows, the winner never does anything. It's the people who finish runners-up or like third or fourth. Like, again, American Idol. People remember Daughtry. People still listen to Daughtry. People remember Kelly Pickler. People remember Blake Lewis. People remember Sanjaya, of all people. So, again, I think it's just the situation of the situation. People remember Sanjaya. People remember William Hung. She Bangs dude, you know. She bangs, you know. That guy, yeah, people remember him. He didn't even make it past the auditions. Sometimes you have those people. Pants on the ground, you know. Yeah. So, like, people don't remember David Cook, which is bad because he makes good music. Adam Lambert, of course, as I said, people remember him. He's the front man for Queen. He probably should have won that year, but Chris Allen did. Nobody remembers him, but he had a couple of good songs, too. I was a big Idol fan growing up. American, Canadian, and the whole series. But, yeah, there was also Canadian Idol. Carly Rae Jepsen came from a Canadian Idol. I don't know if you knew that, but she's Canadian. Carly Rae Jepsen is Canadian. I don't know if you knew that, but now you do. Call Me Maybe. Yeah, that was her. She was also in Canadian Idol. But either way, Brian Mello as well. Canadian Idol winner. I'd say he did better than most American Idol winners. I will say that much. Yeah, fair enough. But again, I think it's just the situation of the show that there's, well, yeah, but those don't count. Nobody cares about those. We'll see. Let me look at my schedule. Let me see what things play out to be. I haven't really made the June schedule up. Most of the second half of the year schedule I haven't made up yet. Let me do that. At least the June and the Gold Cup and the Club World Cup. Semifinals. To Canada or Panama. David Cook, Scotty McCreery. Scotty's done well now. It wasn't instant, but he's done well. I think he's the one who... The thing about Scotty is he did it himself. Like his Idol contract, then he found himself, and he's done better. I wouldn't say success is based off Idol. That just him winning it probably helped. But if he was a random country guy who ended up doing it himself, he would have got popular. I think the way he got popular or more popular, I don't think Idol would have mattered. Idol really just added on 10 years of his career that were kind of floundering until now. So, you know, I mean, he was good on Idol, don't get me wrong, but, and he had some songs from his in-between era, 5 More Minutes era that were pretty good, like his Idol contract era, but, you know. Yeah. She isn't even country. She's from Pennsylvania. Yeah, but she won the first season. I think they're lucky she won the first season, but like I'm saying, yeah, there's a couple you remember, like Kelly, Carrie Underwood, maybe E.M. Tongi. If you want to count the ABC era, which that doesn't even matter. Like the ABC era sucks. I've watched a little bit of the Idol ABC era. It sucks. '20th minute. Exactly. Unless you're Carrie or Kelly Clarkson. Header. Like, my point being is Brian Mello, Canadian Idol winner. I think the final season of Canadian Idol. He did better than most American Idol winners. Or, yeah. Well, of course. Anybody not named Carrie or Kelly, he did better than. No joke. No joke. Yeah, that was also a Simon Cowell show, but yeah. Yeah. Pacers. I want Siakam to get another ring. Philly hasn't scored yet, but they've had some really good chances, but Toronto is getting pushed back. They're getting pushed back to hell and back, so yeah. Do with that what you will. Oh, they have more possession than I thought, but 0 shots to 2. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Trash. Community Shield. Not this year. The last time they won that was the year they won the FA Cup. I have no idea. Al Hilal? I have no idea. Yeah, it's still going on. Might as well not be, though. And Katy Perry is not even a judge anymore. She left. This past season was Carrie Underwood that replaced her. Which, you know, is kind of nice considering she's the only one of the 2 only stars that are still a thing after winning the damn show. Funnily enough, one of the 2 people that became a star after winning the show judges the show 20 years later. Like, you could be Carrie. You won't, but you could be Carrie. You won't, but you could be. Our last successful winner 20 years ago. What about Scotty? Idol didn't make him successful. He had a couple of songs that were good. I don't know how they charted, but were good during his Idol contract. Then they let him go and he did stuff himself. Then he started becoming a star after 5 More Minutes, In Between, This Is It, those songs. That's when he became a star. Like freaking 8-9 years later. Like, I mean, yeah, Feeling It was a good song. I Love You This Big. That was a good song. Yeah. Those were pre his really big breakout. Idol didn't do shit for him. Hell, I think he'd admit that. Scotty's a star because he kept pushing at it. Yeah, he won Idol, but that ain't why he's a star. Like, it added on 10 more years to his career than if he just started on TikTok. Scotty's a hard worker. That's my point. He grinded. Even if he won Idol, he still grinded. See, Philip Phillips won Idol. He had 2 good singles, and he ain't done shit since, well, actually 3. He ain't done shit since 2015. At least Scotty kept it pushing. But he was. No, weren't they the same age? Either way. No, I think Philip was a little bit older. Either way. You know, so. No, Carrie replaced Katy Perry, but Lionel Richie's still there. I know, we talked about it during the conference. Jordi Alba down. Well, that sucks. TFC playing forward. Spicer, and he loses the ball. Little clip from Sullivan leads to Spicer losing the ball. Where were we? IS. Tie or troops. Probably tie. I don't, honestly, lead judges ain't that pissed. You know, I don't see him really being pissed. Robbie's just, I ain't seen him mad. DT, weirdly enough, he doesn't seem pissed. Disappointed maybe, but pissed? No. Troops are tie because tie is delusional, and troops, well, respect to troops, but I think he knows what makes the money, so he may just be faking anger. I think Ty might be the real angriest one. He's delusional, because he's delusional. Nice. Like the one it's filmed now or the one it was filmed back when it was popular. That's still cool, but if it was the one that's actually, well, that stage wouldn't be up. Like the iconic Idol stage from like the popular days wouldn't be up anymore, so it doesn't matter. But like the Ovaltron, like the season 4 to 6 stage, or even the season 7 stage, but no, it's not the iconic one. Cool. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one. I could see it, but I don't know what he's going to do. I just know he's leaving Al Nasir. That's all I know. Okay, so I have no problem watching scripted entertainment. I watch WWE, but there's a lot of idol studio recordings, like performances from like the old era that I still listen to this day. You know, like there's a lot of them. A lot of them, like Blake Lewis, Time of the Season. That's a really good performance. You Give Love a Bad Name, Blake Lewis. Anoop, when he covered Beat It, Michael Jackson, of course, as well as Everything I Do, covering Bryan Adams. That was good. Heejun, covering My Life. You know, he's a K-pop star now. I know, I'm surprised too. I was a big Heejun fan, and now he's a K-pop star, which I'd say I'm still a fan. I shouldn't say was, but okay, maybe I have like one K-pop artist I'm a fan of. That doesn't make me a hypocrite. He was on American Idol. I was a fan of him back then. That doesn't make me a hypocrite. I was a Heejun stan when he was on Idol. That doesn't make me a hypocrite. Hey, if it worked for him, it worked for him, you know? Do I wish he'd make some songs in English? Yeah. I thought he was actually a good singer. Which, I mean, he's a freaking K-pop star, so it tells you he at least has good vocals. Like, I mean, I'll say, like, K-pop, They have good vocals. Like, I won't even lie. They have good vocals. They have good voices. You know? Yes. They won't play as bad as they did the last game. We already covered that. Jordi Alba down. Really? Damn. Well, I mean, yeah, but he makes so much money by just being a freaking podcast host. I mean, do I blame him? Like, can you call him? Well, hell, when he was interviewing people, he never got angry anyway. Do you actually hear Robbie's thoughts? Like, at this point, like, he was the smart one. He just let these guys talk, and he made a freaking media empire out of it. Like, you don't hear the man talk. Like, you really don't hear his thoughts. He's the smart one, if anything. You don't hear Robbie's thoughts. David coming in for Alba, David Martinez. Well, he was old when he started the channel. But, like, he never really gave his thoughts anyway. Noah Allen moves to left back, not scared. Come on, Dallas, score already. Oh, FC Dallas. I'm like, the Stars just played yesterday, and they don't play till Thursday. But, by the way, go Big Ol! Big Ol! Well, I don't think you go to the Galaxy. And besides, LAFC, I don't think he really fits the ethos of that club. Mm-hmm. Goal for Messi. Well, good. How has Laurent Courtois not been canned yet? Dude, he got fired by Montreal. He got fired like 2 months ago. Marco Donadell's been their coach for like 2 months, if not more. Hold on, what? Marco Donadell's been there. Montreal are trash. Well, yeah, I agree with that. Miami will finally win for the first time, and God knows, hey, at least Toronto drew them. What are you doing, Monlouis? That was horrible. Baribo, Sullivan, 30th minute, ball crossed in, saved. Brian Gonzalez, Efrain Alvarez are going to Chivas. No, and that means the world's ending, so you don't want to see it. Believable sources, I think. Okay, where do you think Diego Valdez will go? I have no idea. I have no idea. I could see him going to like Atlas or something. Maybe Tigres. They love playing older players. 30-48's where I am. Shot save by Sean Johnson. Busquets almost got trashed. He somehow fought off the defender, spun his way to open space, and assisted Messi. Well, good for him. I'm surprised. Missed so much MLS since the NHL playoffs and going to Rapids games and not watching other games. Well, you're a Miami fan. You might have missed a little bit. MLS. Men's football. This isn't Toronto AFC Toronto. This is Toronto FC. This is the MLS. They say Rados, Toluca, or Santos. That Santos makes the most sense. Yeah. I mean, most MLS teams' defense, well, I wouldn't say it's overall good, but I think you'll go back to Chile. That makes more sense for Valdez, yeah. Like Colo Colo or something, you know? Where did he grow up? What club did he grow up in? Yeah, he'll go back to that one. Makes more sense. Rapids revenge game tonight. I know they beat St. Louis on the weekend, right? And they fired Olaf Melberg, deservedly so, because Jesus Christ, he was horrible. Good tackle. 32nd minute. And Philly players down, there'll be a stoppage of play. It was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. One plays in Calgary, the other plays in Vancouver. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it was that. It's the fact they hired a manager who's trash. "33rd minute, 0-0. I don't think. Well, Pumas are. Coelho. I don't think that's a foul, but okay. Of course he did. Of course he did. Good. Of course Frioni fluffed his lines and just got it over the bar. Of course he did, because that's what he does. But what about that overhead kick against Toronto? No. Canada women's team was one of the best two teams in the world for a long time in football. What do you mean don't have any decent teams? The men's team is now becoming a team that could challenge anybody or most of anybody. Did you not see how they did at the Copa? Yeah, they lost to Mexico with the Nations League. Yeah, that was bad, but that was Raul Jimenez by himself. Canada's men's team is more than decent. I'd say they're more than decent. They're a team you have to watch out for. I'd say they're a dark horse at the World Cup. I really would, especially out of the rest of the CONCACAF teams. Now, Mexico might be, if Raul Jimenez is still playing at the same level he's playing right now. The Canadian women's team for a long time, when I was growing up, was the second best women's team in the world. They just weren't first because the USA, they were just bordering the one who was number one. Now, of course, they're top five. Like, they're still top five in the FIFA rankings. I'd say that's better than decent. They've won an Olympic gold medal. I'd say that's better than decent. Canadian hockey team. The Canadian men's hockey team, like, okay, they did lose the World Championships, but they won the Four Nations face-off. Okay, Hockey Canada has its problems. Let's be real. Canadian women's hockey team still wins everything. The men's hockey team and the juniors, okay, it has its problems. But they still won the Four Nations face-off. And I still think they'll win the Olympics. When it gets serious and when it gets to the tournaments that people actually care about, they'll win. Nobody really cares about the World Championships. Now, the World Juniors, people care about in Canada. The problem with that was they called up a horrible roster. They forgot about 5 big junior stars that already were drafted into the NHL for the last year's World Juniors. They still had Easton Cowan, though, but they forgot a lot of big junior players that were still junior eligible that were drafted by NHL team, and they didn't call them, except for Easton Cowan. But that was bad. But no decent international teams. That's really underplaying their hockey teams and their football. Now, cricket, no, they don't have a cricket team. Would they be decent if they had one? No. They have some pretty good swimmers. When it comes to Olympic swimming, they have some pretty good swimmers. So I think you're being obtuse. Basketball, they're on their way up in basketball too, especially on the men's side. So I think you're being obtuse. What about field hockey? Well, they suck at that. No, that was surprising to me, though. I will say, I looked it up during the Olympics. No, they suck at field hockey. So I'll give you that one. They do suck at field hockey. They have a team. They suck. They have not done well at the Olympics. They've only finished above 10th once on either side. So, yeah, no, that's weird. No, that was shocking to me. Field hockey can't be that different. You're Canadian. Hockey's your thing. And I think the football teams are doing fine. Historically, yes, but now that's changing. Fair enough. They haven't been to one from 86 to 22. They host one, but I think they'll do well this. What happens in 2026, I think will change your mind. Let's be real. I think you haven't been paying attention. 2026 is going to change people's minds about Canada in a good way. 2022 started to, but, you know, I think Canada's going to be an actual contender if when it comes to cooked. When it comes to exactly good. It sucks to see Hyman get hurt, though. Oh, they have a cricket team. Wow. Yeah, they're horrible, though. That doesn't surprise me. I sometimes would watch cricket randomly. I haven't really got into it, though. Haven't really got into cricket, though. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I only have so many hours in a day, though, you know. I've watched a couple of cricket matches, or at least moments of cricket matches. Not for Canada, just in general. Cricket looks fun. But I watch rugby. You know, I like rugby as well. Canada has a rugby team that isn't really that good. So, speaking of rugby, no, they don't have a good rugby team. Not going to happen. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's true. But hockey is hockey. Floor hockey, field hockey, ice hockey, street hockey. Hockey is hockey. So why Canada sucks at field hockey makes no sense to me, is all I'm saying. Hockey is hockey. Pond hockey, ice hockey, roller hockey, floor hockey, field hockey, street hockey. Hockey is hockey. Why does Canada suck at it? I know the sticks are smaller. It's still hockey. It's like mini sticks. How do you suck at that? Like, it's like mini sticks. Like, dude, how do you suck at that? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, it's basically field hockey sticks are basically mini sticks. How do you suck at that? Like, how could you be Canadian and suck at mini sticks? Dude, like, that makes no sense. No, that makes no sense. Yeah. I mean, the countries, the USA and Canada don't really care about cricket. It's like hockey in Mexico. It's like ice hockey in Mexico. They don't care. Like, it's an interesting sport, but I'm probably a random person who will say it's an interesting sport. But that's, which, I mean, it's funny. It kind of has some baseball mechanics, and people love baseball, but it's kind of like rugby and gridiron football. Like, there's mechanics there that you'd be like, oh, that looks familiar, but you wouldn't say it's baseball. Shot, save. Oso almost scored again. Oh, shot over the bar by Brynhildsen, 42nd minute. I mean, it kind of has some baseball mechanics. Yeah, but you wouldn't say it's baseball. You wouldn't say it's baseball, just like you wouldn't say rugby's gridiron football. You wouldn't say that either. Yeah, Ekholm is too damn good. They got way more depth. Arcades. Like, air hockey's like, yeah, that's just arcades. But I do love playing air hockey. Used to have like an air hockey, do we? Well, it will be used to soon, if not now. Used to have an air hockey table. Yeah, that was pretty cool for a while. 43rd minute. It's pretty cool for a while. Hurricanes lead 1-0 Aho. Mistake by the Panthers. Exactly. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. the beat ball thing. That's cool. That sounds cool. Oh, yeah, okay. But that does sound pretty cool. That does sound pretty cool. Hurricanes are competing. Don't give this team life. I don't want to see the Hurricanes win more than 2 games. It makes the Leafs look horrible. So please, Florida, come back. I mean, yeah, they're playing with desperation. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. They should have been playing like this the whole way. 44th minute. They played with desperation in Game 4, and now they're playing with desperation again. Sounds what the Leafs should have done. Well, they did Game 6, but Game 7 they didn't. Hey, maybe the Florida or the Carolina Hurricanes, they know how not to lose, but not how to win. Sounds familiar. Throw in for Spicer. 0-0. Header in. Header. Just popped it up. He popped it up. So don't worry if Panthers are behind. You may be right. Hurricanes got back to their game, yeah. Because you know what? You might as well cheer as long as you have hope. Like, let's be honest. I knew the Leafs were cooked after they lost overtime Game 3, but I still cheered for them until the series was over. I could have stopped watching. I didn't. And you got to see me feel pain for Game 5 and 6, or Games 3, 4, 5, and 7, because I kept cheering. But I should have seen it coming. Oso, what is he doing? Just running across the top of the box. Cross in. It's out for a corner. 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're almost down through the first minute of stoppage time. Good save for Freddie. Well, good for Freddie. Maybe the Canes are closer to competing next year than we thought. They didn't need Rantanen. Stankoven's really worked wonders for the Canes. Stankoven's amazing. But I think they knew they weren't going to keep Rantanen, so they traded him. And Stankoven, who Dallas gave them. I think they got lucky. Like, I think it was a good thing for them. They traded for Rantanen, then traded him away. Like, yeah, is it because of the Four Nations break being a mini trade deadline, and then the real trade deadline being later? And I think when it comes to it, Stankoven is a solid player. He's still a young rookie. And yeah, I think Carolina made the best of that situation. But, you know, you look at Stankoven and he's talented. Exactly. Cross in. So I think Carolina was smart. I think, honestly, I don't know. I think everybody sort of won. In that deal. I think Colorado, well, okay, no, they probably lost the most because they got knocked out by Rantanen, but Colorado weren't going to keep him. Would they have gone further had they kept him in the playoffs? Yeah, but would they have lost to the Western Conference Final just like Dallas is? Probably. Would they have beaten the Jets? I'd say yes with Rantanen, but they knew they probably had to trade him for something. They did. They also got Brock Nelson for half a season. That didn't really pan out, but still talented. I'd love to see the Leafs get Brock Nelson, but they're not going to do that. But I think maybe Colorado lost the worst, and then out of the 3, but I think everybody won. I think Carolina, getting him, then trading him, getting Stankoven, they won. They extended their window a little bit. And also the Metro sucks ass. So there you go. And then Dallas won by getting Rantanen for 8 years, plus the rest of this year. Shot, save. Oh. Cleared corner, 49th minute. Back to football. It's a talent and skill deficit thing. Look at England. They have all the money but can't win a FIFA World Cup after 66 to save their lives. Yeah, it sounds like a team I know well. They only won a World Cup a year before the Leafs won their last Stanley Cup. So, yeah. They have all the money. They don't know how to win. England players don't know how to win, but I think that might change. I trust Thomas Tuchel. I'm not an England fan, but I've seen Thomas Tuchel make teams who have no reason to win or no chance to win turn into champions. I've seen it. Thomas Tuchel might change England's fortunes. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the Final Four or even the World Cup final. If they win, I'm going to say it was Thomas Tuchel. I'm going to say Thomas Tuchel was the one who made England win if they win everything. And you know what? I wouldn't be so mad to see it in that case. Halftime, it's 0-0. Toronto is held out for a 0-0 draw after 45 minutes. Could be worse, could be better. 0-0. 45 more minutes. Let's see what happens. So, I mean, sounds familiar. Just like I think Craig Berube could change the Leafs' fortunes. You need a manager who knows how to make you win, which that would be Tuchel. We might lose with Rantanen only because everyone else outside of McKinnon and Rantanen struggled round one. Owen Landeskog. Freddie, what a save. They just won the Stanley Cup last year. What do you mean? They also finished off the Leafs. So, no, they got the job done. It's just had 2 bad games. Yeah. Fair enough. Panthers are on the power play. Allende's down. That's the 3rd player for Miami to go down tonight. Time to make a triple switch since we're down 1 sub window and it's midweek. I would agree with that. Aviles. Oh, Aviles, not Allende. That didn't look like Aviles. That looked like Allende. People said the same thing about David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, John Terry. Yeah, but I'm talking about a coach. See, players, yeah, they're the ones who are actually playing. But if a coach has the mentality of you're going to win whether you like it or not, like Craig Berube does and Thomas Tuchel does, you're going to break a drought whether you like it or not. That coach, and I think England's players at least have a better mentality than Leafs players. Like, I'm using the Leafs as an example because they've only won a Stanley Cup a year after their last Stanley Cup, a year after England won their last World Cup. So it's been a while. I do believe English players have a better mentality, but they have the same noise. They have the same noise as Leafs players do. And it wouldn't surprise me if England choked, people be like, oh, they can't handle the noise. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, oh, England fans are so toxic. Like, people run that agenda. Would run that agenda. Simple, just as similar. If it's about the coach. See, the mentality of the coach goes a long way. It goes a lot longer than you would think. In my opinion. And yeah, no, the Leafs did lose this year, true. But Craig Berube brought them further than they have been in years. Because for a while there, it was working. You're going to win whether you like it or not, because I say you're going to win. It worked until they played a team who was actually tough and for real and made them act like punks again. And ruin their mentality and make it go straight back to the mentality of, oh, you're punks. Oh, we're punks, so we can't handle this pressure and this physicality. But for a while, no, it was working. It was working. And Thomas Tuchel has the same mentality for the English team. You're going to win whether you like it or not. You're going to win. I'm going to make sure of that. You may not like winning, but you're going to win. But I do think English players do have a better mentality anyway. That's true. But Brazil also did get Ancelotti, so that may not last that long anymore anyway. That's true. They've never beat the USA. How we doing, William? George Washington would be proud. He would be. I hope to God you're wrong. We'll find out in 4 days. I'll be wearing the suit, don't worry, but we're going to find out in 4 days, give or take. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. Probably not, but I hope you're wrong. With that being said, we'll take a short break at half, talk about the stats, get this one going. 0-0 for both teams. Toronto they've survived defensively and they've had some offensive chances. I may do the game that the trophy gets given. Like, I may do game 6 and 7. I might. Will I do the whole final? No. I will do the trophy winning games, though, whenever there's a chance, depending on the situation. If we're open and free to do it, or we could do a double, I will for the trophy winning games. If that's just game 7, then there you go. If that's for the elimination games. So if it's 3-0, I'll do game 4. If it's 3-1 in game 5, I'll do game 5. If it's basically, if somebody could eliminate somebody, we'll do it. I don't think I'll do the whole series, but would at least probably guarantee games 6 and 7, but probably 5 too. But well, yeah, that makes sense. But with that being said, Panthers going right back to a power play. Yeah, that would probably guarantee 6 and 7 though. There you go. With that being said, we'll take a short break though. Sit tight, be back. We're back for the stats at the half. We got 44% possession to 56% possession, 4 shots to 8, 1 shot on goal to 3. Have 91 accurate passes, 68% to 113, 67%. It's a very sloppy game. 8 fouls to 8, 1 corner to 4, 4 shots to 8, 1 shot on goal to 3, 134 passes to 169, 68% pass accuracy to 67, 11 throws to 14, 0 offside to 2, 0 yellows to 0, 0 reds to 0, 0-0 at the half. I think Toronto's played well defensively. They've shut out the Union, which is shocking. They've had some good chances. Toronto have had some chances forward late in the half. They're starting to flip it away from Philly. I don't think that'll be much, but Toronto's doing solidly okay. They're doing solidly okay when it comes to how they're playing this game. They're solid. They look solid. So, I think Toronto looks solid. Are they probably going to win this game? No, they'll still probably lose somehow, but it would be nice to see them pick up a point. What would that do if they pick up a point? It would put them above Atlanta and DC and Montreal for the time being. If they win, they have 16 points, which means they'd only be 3 behind Chicago, who does not play tonight. They're still a game behind almost everybody. Chicago doesn't play tonight. Yeah, because they're playing Orlando next, so that makes sense. Chicago does not play tonight. So Chicago has 2 games in hand on Toronto if Toronto were to win. Toronto would be 6 points away from a playoff spot if they won tonight. They're 8 with a draw, which it's doable. It's doable, but let's see what happens. Huh. But we have the second half to start soon. I think Toronto's been solid, but we'll see what happens. Second half to go. I mean, it is interesting. And yeah, it's better than people think. I'll agree. It's also, you could say the same about MLS. You could say the same about MLS. Second half, here we go. Let's see if Toronto plays solidly. Come on, let's not be stupid. Let's push on. Let's at least get the point. That'd be nice. Why does Toronto play so well? Here's my question. Why does Toronto play so well against the top clubs? But against the bottom feeders, okay, no, they've had a good couple of games against the bottom feeders. But Toronto's best performances, except for outliers, have come against one of the top clubs. They had a really solid performance against Minnesota. They drew Miami. They drew Minnesota as well. Rosted's coming on for Wingo. Oh, Lord. Oh, there goes that. There goes that. See, here's the thing I don't understand. And what I don't understand is how this team plays so well against the higher teams. Like, it makes no sense to me. It makes zero. I'd say the Oilers look better right now. I'd say the Oilers look like the better team right now. The Oilers are playing a system that could absolutely counterattack the Panthers. The Panthers have pulled their feet off the gas. And even if they win one game, it looks like they're definitely losing momentum. The Oilers haven't taken their feet off the gas. I'd say that the Oilers might be the favorites right now if it still ends up being Panthers-Oilers. And if it ends up being Hurricanes, I still think the Oilers are favorites. So I honestly think the Oilers are better off than you'd think. They're going to finish the story, I guess. 46th minute. We're underway the second half. Hurricanes are the barbecue chicken of the conference finals. Well, yeah, true. Respectfully, only because they don't have much as other teams left. Yeah, but they're somehow about to make it a series. Like, who would have thought? Like, who would have thought? Playing forward. Spicer. Still Spicer. Still keeps it alive. Top of the box, and Oso loses it. Too much of a hit. Revenge tour for Big Ol. Revenge tour for Big Ol. That's still 1-0 Carolina. Okay. 4 minutes left in the first period. I mean, yeah, Florida could overturn that easily, but the longer it gets, the harder it gets. Immunity. 48th minute. Immunity. Etienne crosses it, and it's blocked. Huh. TFC, Oso. TFC started the half pretty good. Big Ol! Oh, Oso. It gets cleared away. What is he doing? 49th minute. Speaking of playoff hockey, Rory, your boys, the Laval Rocket, are in the conference finals in the AHL. I don't know if you knew about that, but playing the Charlotte Checkers, the Florida, not the Florida. Oh, it is the Florida affiliate. My bad. They are the Florida affiliate. I was about to say, did I say Carolina? No, Florida. I agree. Well, Bettman never made me laugh. It was painful. You thought. George Peros, you thought. Colin Campbell, you thought. Oh, you thought. Gary Bettman, you thought. But Edmonton, big O's on its way. By the way, big ol' better absolutely pour a bucket of oil all over Colin Campbell's Hall of Fame statue or whatever the hell. Because Colin Campbell should not be in the Hall of Fame. That still makes no sense. Not just made no, it still makes no sense. How, man? Put your head back down. Put your head back down. Man, if I was doing a game highlight commentary for MLS every week, I would absolutely just... What? Put your head back down. Butterfeet, I don't know. Butterfeet. Yoink. Yoink. Good. Isn't he related to Kasperi, by the way? Speaking of, Kasperi's in the conference final as well, if they are related. Lol. Either way, it's a good year for Kapanins. If they're related or not, it's a good year for Kapanins. Speaking of, is Kasperi a UFA this year? Honestly, I wouldn't mind him coming back to Toronto. I wouldn't mind it at all. Like, Kasperi be a good Marner replacement. 2-0 Aho. Oh, my God. Honestly, Cincinnati this year. They honestly are starting to beat the fraud allegations. Cincinnati are starting to beat the fraud allegations. I won't lie. I think they've been better this year. Goal for Carolina. Cousins. So they are related. Okay. Yeah, it's a good year for Kapanins. Speaking of, I saw that Tarasenko still has a year left on his deal with Detroit. I would still like to see Toronto trade for him. He's won, he won a cup last year, Tarasenko still has a lot to give. Vladimir Tarasenko on the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was coached by Craig Berube for that first cup as well, Yeah, trade Yarncroke or Trade Yarncroak or Camp for Tarasenko. That would be awesome. And then put Tarasenko on the same line as Tavares and Cowan. That works for me. Yeah. We do Nyes, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Tarasenko, Cowan, Lawton, Robertson, Pacioretty. Sure. Keep Pacioretty if he wants to play. Keep Pacioretty and headed away. Oh, yeah. Well. Whatever the fourth line is, the fourth line is. But McMahon, center. Do you mean Morgan Riley or Ryan O'Reilly? Y'all would trade for Ryan O'Reilly? Dude, he's still got a contract, like a bigger one, too. If you talk about Morgan Riley, we'll give him to you. I don't know what we could get off of that, but I think any trade we make with the Colorado Avalanche for Morgan Riley would actually be a good deal. Toronto would win that deal. You would be idiots. I don't know if you want Ryan O'Reilly, though. Not at this point. I think Toronto did the right thing by trading for Scott Lawton. Has term, and he still has some. I don't think Ryan O'Reilly's really that good anymore. Now, if you want Morgan Riley, I'm totally fine with that deal. And probably anything Toronto gets for him would be a win. We would win that deal. But then again, if you want, it's probably, Either way. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Tarasenko. So it's probably Ryan O'Reilly. But either way, Tarasenko still got it. I don't know if Ryan O'Reilly does. It helps that I grew up a Tarasenko fan as a Blues fan second. I always was a fan of Tarasenko. Still am. It helps. But I still think he has something to give. You put him on a line with Tavares and Cowan, that'd be awesome. Yeah, keep Steven Lorentz. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, they could keep Steven Lorentz. McMahon, Lorentz, wing. Somebody on the wing. Oh, yeah. Domi. Or what you can do is put Domi on the third line, Pacioretty, Lorentz, McMahon. Works for me. Domi, Lawton, and Morgan Riley and a defensive defenseman. You'd be out of your mind. I don't think he's been a bad signing. Looks like Kevin Sullivan might play in this game. He might. I don't think it's been a bad trade. I think Carlo's a good player. No, did he produce any points? No, but I think he's a solid defender. Like, he's a good third pair, maybe second pair defender. I think he's good for what he is. Now, as a trade deadline acquisition, as like a big centerpiece trade deadline acquisition, that kind of makes it look worse, but it is what it is. Header over the bar. I have more problem with Riley than Carlo. Is he signed or under term? Morgan Riley? Or is signed or under term? Oh, your player's okay. Yeah. Brock Nelson is a FA. Yeah. Wouldn't mind if the Leafs got him too, but But the good thing about the Leafs is both their goalies are under contract for next year, Stolarz and Wolff. Wolff with a big, well, not a big extension, but his extension kicks in, and Stolarz still has a year left. Our defense is all under contract, except I kind of want to see him trade Riley. Other than that, we don't really have to do much about the defense. We just got to fill up our offense. And we have about $20 million to do it. To no free kick. $20 million to sign Tavares, Nyes, and fill out the rest of the offense. We could also trade some people. And frankly, I would like to see the Leafs trade Kampf and Yarncroke for Tarasenko. That's a trade I'd love to see. I actually think it's a smart trade as well. Kampf and Yarncroke to the Red Wings for Tarasenko. Doesn't sound bad to me. Doesn't sound bad to me. Tarasenko for 1 year. If it doesn't work out, he's gone. If it does, we could sign him on a smaller deal before the end of the season. I think that's smart. And he played with Berube and won one of his cups with Berube, and the other cup he won was against with Paul Maurice. So he knows the Florida system. Speaking of Lorentz and OEL and Stolarz, there's another guy who knows the Florida system, who knows how to combat them, being on the second line of the Leafs. I don't see how that's a problem. And he's playing under the coach that won him his first cup. Berube always liked Tarasenko. It never sounded like he didn't. To me, sounds smart. Trade Kampf and Yarncroke, who are useless, for Tarasenko, who still has a little bit more to give and who is still a second line on the wing or center, but hopefully on the wing because you have Tavares. Genius. Or if you don't, Brock Nelson or some of that. I don't see how that's a bad idea, but if I had any power, I'd be pushing for a Tarasenko deal. Just me. I think that actually sounds smart and possible because Detroit's a joke. Saved by Sean Johnson. I think Detroit's a joke and they want to make changes to try to have the Yzer plan work. And frankly, I don't think they see Tarasenko as a big part of that. Maybe they did last year, but now I'm not saying he has nothing, but he is older. Yarncroke is older as well, but I don't know. I don't think Yzerman's really that good of a GM anyway. I mean, yeah, he did well at Tampa, but Tampa was just okay. Yeah, Tampa was a good moment, but I honestly think JB Brebois finished it off. Either way, Yzerman's not that good of a GM. Let's be real. He's not that good. No. Yeah, Bruce Brown, he's a solid player. I think he's a good player. Yeah. 63rd minute. Good place for it. Toronto still has a 0-0 draw. Here's a push. Spicer goes forward, but try to get to Corbianu. Didn't work with a quick break. Didn't work. Playing forward, Sullivan to Wagner, wide. Oh my! It just rolls past the post. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks to see what happened to him. Man's made of glass. Banish him to Orlando. Well, I can't say that because, well, it's out for a throw. Playing forward, headed away. Feliz Toluca campeón. Sí. Toluca, feliz Toluca. Campeón, campeón, campeón de la Liga MX. Feliz. Feliz, hermano. Howdy, frick, man. Oh, Toronto's leading the race for Paradella. Still? Okay. Toluca will get him, though. I mean, I'd be happy to see him in Toronto. I think that'd be solid, but... Dude, if you're going to retain salary, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe one in multiple draft picks. Stanley Jean-Jacques. Mikhail Ura coming on for Bueno. I think Stanley Jean-Jacques got called up to the Gold Cup as well. So good for him. We'll hear more about him in the summer. Mikhail Ura coming on for Damiani. Okay, I was like, are they going to take off Baribo? Okay, no. I was like, are you sure about that? No, Ura's on for Damiani. Oh, that was a pretty good goal. But the second goal. Well, both of them were, actually. How is Florida giving away all these giveaways? Like, that's crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, Cruz Azul. Okay. But yeah, Cruz Azul is going to be part of it. So that throws a wrench into everything. Like, either Patadella's waiting for Cruz Azul to at least make an offer, or somebody is, I don't know who's dragging their feet, but I mean, of course you'd wait to see what Cruz Azul's offer is. So I get it, but Trae Young ain't going to leave Atlanta. No, that ain't happening. Why would Atlanta trade Trae Young? Ooh, I think our defense, striker. Vasilev, oh yeah, he's been playing the whole game. Striker. I think we actually need a striker. I think we can survive with our defense. As I've been saying for about a couple of months now, I don't think our defense is the problem. I don't think our goalie's the problem. I don't think our midfield's the problem. I would say striker. I think we need an actual striker to finish opportunities, or I think we have enough wing players we could get away with it, but we need an actual striker. I think that's the... Well, we only have 2 DPs in Lorenzo Insigne and Federico Bernardeschi. We do have an open DP spot, so nobody has to leave, but because I don't think Corbianu or Bryn Hildson are DPs. They're on loans that are on TAM money, so Monlouis, Tam money. Larea's not a DP anymore. So nobody has to leave for him to arrive, but I think it'd be, unless you want to make him a TAM player, then somebody would have to leave. You'd either have to cancel somebody's loan or something else. But I think he'd be a DP, but we have an open DP spot. So if he was to arrive. So that's the good news. Nobody would have to leave unless you want him to be a TAM player. But that means if they want to open the checkbook for a DP player, which, or do you go striker? Cross in, wide. An actual number 10 wouldn't hurt, though. An actual number 10 wouldn't hurt, but a striker would be better. TAM strikers aren't really buttering the bread, so to speak. So do you want to save that DP spot for a striker? He's the best 10 in Liga MX. Well, that would help. He's better than Insigne or Dominguez, because Dominguez has not been what we thought he would be. If we had an actual number 10, I'd like to see how it goes for Brynhildsen and Kerr. I'd like to see. Saved. Brynhilsen's taken down. He's holding his leg. Give me Lonzo Ball, Kobe White, Isaiah Stewart for Jamal Murray, MPJ, and Strother. Lonzo Ball. Okay. Kobe White, solid. Yeah. Well, there you go. 2-2. Good for Dallas. Cleared away. 71st minute. Toronto still has a 0-0 draw. Felipe Mora is the exception as a TAM striker. There's been a couple of exceptions, but Toronto don't butter the bread. Like Jesus Jimenez buttered the bread for a while. He stopped. They got rid of him. He didn't play well in Dallas, but now he's doing amazingly in India. Part of me wants them to bring Jesus Jimenez back, but God knows he'd come back as a DP. Well, I don't know, but I wouldn't mind him. He would probably try to get the bag, which I wouldn't blame him at all. I wouldn't blame him at all if he did. But I think we were dumb to get rid of him in the first place because everybody else has been shit. Owusu, TAM striker, shit. Brynhildsen, so far, shit. DeAndre Kerr's outplaying him, and he's still hurt. So do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. 10 million. Yeah, he'd be a cheap DP too. Well, I don't see why it'd be a problem to sign him to a DP contract. He wouldn't be that much of a overpriced DP. Probably about $2 million, $3 million of actual wages. That's what the problem is. It's about the wage of the player, not, well, either way, the wages wouldn't be expensive. It's the release clause. Why is Toronto complaining? They have the money. They have an open DP spot. It's not like the third one has to be freaking. That's their thing. That's their problem. The wages, what? Worst would be $3 million a year, maybe $4. He ain't gonna make above $7. So exactly. So I wouldn't be mad about it. Like, I think Paradella would be a good move the more you're talking about it. Do we still need a striker? Yes, but I'll give Brynhildsen a chance off the painkillers and playing with an actual number 10. Also, Bernadeschi and Insigne and Corbianu playing with actual number 10. I'd give them a chance. Maybe it's because Brynhildsen's still on painkillers and has no number 10 to speak of. Maybe that's why he's shit. Maybe we're not playing to his style. Maybe Paradella would. Speaking of, if he could score as well, a good amount of goals, 5, 6 for the rest of the year, maybe 7, that doesn't sound bad to me either. But if you can play it to Bryn Hilton's feet, that looks like it's a better chance than anything else. And also, if DeAndre Kerr takes Bryn Hilton's spot, let's see how Padadella does with him. Once DeAndre's back, you're making me believe that's a good idea. Because I don't think our defense is a problem. I don't think our midfield's a problem. Well, at least the defensive part of it. We need a number 10, but front line, front three, I think if we had a number 10, our front three would at least be positive. We'd score more goals than we are now. So, yeah. Bryn Hilton. Here's Bryn Hilton. Shot. Goal! 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 Ula Bryn Hilton scores! 1-0 Toronto FC! Wow, what a shot! Top bins, Ula Bryn Hilton! Get in there! Well, calling him shit, made him score. Ula Bryn Hilton gives Toronto the lead. They might just beat Philadelphia. What? Like, we normally do pretty well against Philadelphia recently at home, which is weird. And this is another one of those. Well, we do suck over there, so I guess karma has to. Boom! Just over the head of Andre Blake, bar and in. What a shot, Bryn Hilton. Ula Bryn Hilton with a goal. Okay. All right. Cool. What a goal by Bryn Hilton. What a finish. Dude. What a goal. See, this is why I still believe Bryn Hilton might have a little bit and why Padadella would be a good signing. See, this is why. If he could do that, maybe he's coming off the painkillers. If he could do that, if Bryn Hilton could do that, Padadella might be a fine signing. See, if he could do that, oh my, he might just be out. He might just be on again. He might just be on again. 77 minutes. Bryn Hilton keeps it up for Coelho. 77th minute. Etienne. If we win this game without Bernadeschi, I swear. Shot over the bar by Corbianu. Yeah, that doesn't sound bad either. Shot wide. Over the bar by Corbianu. It went high, too. But if Toronto beats Vancouver or Philadelphia without Bernadeschi and Insigne, holy shit. Dude, man, they've been solid. They've been solid. I think they deserve these points. 75th minute, 1-0. They deserve these points. If they don't get it, I'm going to be pissed. They deserve these points. 77th minute. Come on, just hold on, boys. Don't do nothing stupid. You got 12 minutes. Hold on. That should be a free kick for Toronto. You got 12 minutes. Hold on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. So Toronto might have a chance. Kevin Long's coming on for Zane Monlouis. Oh, well, we at least have the lead. So Kevin Long isn't that bad. Man, if Ula could do that, that's why Paulinho, I'm fine with a Paulinho signing as a number 10. Because if Ula could do that, maybe it was the painkillers and the injury that was still on him that made him a little bit worse. If Ula could do that, like the problem is you could see potential out of Ula Bryn Hilton. No, he's not perfect, but you can see potential out of him. That's the problem. Like he hasn't had the goals until recently, but you can see he has potential. Like you can see he has a good brain on him. The problem is he just hasn't been absolutely like automatic. Toronto were playing a lot better recently. I agree. I think they're starting to figure it out though. Just shows Robin needed time. Yeah, to me, it's stupid. Like, to me, it's absolutely dumb. Like, why are you getting rid of a guy who got you to a CONCACAF final, should have got you to a Liga final, who might win you the Champions Cup? Why would you get rid of him? If he wins you the Champions Cup, especially, nobody expected you. Well, okay, no. No, I think people expected y'all to be in the final, but after Anselmi left, it was kind of like oh, let's see what happens. Cleared away. 79th minute. But Vicente Sanchez saved them. He got them to a Champions Cup final. He might win them the Champions Cup. Why don't you want him? He almost got them to a Liga final. What is the point? Like, dude, I think he earned the job. I think Vicente Sanchez earned the job. Now, the question is, 80 minutes, 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Can they hold on? Let's pull up the point. Yes. Yes, that's if they, yep. 3 points away from Chicago with 2 games in hand for Chicago if we win. We're above Atlanta and DC and Montreal with this win. Lovely. Philly still has 30 points. They're losing, though, which is shocking. Which is absolutely shocking. We have half the points, and we're beating them. Football's a weird sport, boys. We've had a really good day today. At least I have. I agree, but 81st minute. Toronto, we've had a really good day. TFC, Chelsea, we're having a really good day. Yeah. Okay. 81st minute. Damn, 23-9. Holy shit. OKC, actually, no, it's 26-9. OKC over Minnesota after the first quarter. Holy shit. Dude. Wow. Holy Lord. This is the conference finals. How? Dear God. OKC is absolutely killing Minnesota. Oh, my God. 82nd minute, 1-0. Okay. Cleared away. Petretta clears. Wow. Quinn Sullivan for Ben Bender. Well, I don't blame him. Fair enough. Cruz Azul is known to have bad higher-ups. The whole Anselmi situation was poorly handled. The team they won with in 21, they got rid of Coach Reynoso and the team. They often shoot themselves in the foot. Well, that's a reason why they don't win shit. Sounds familiar. Speaking of teams who can get close but don't get all the way and they shoot themselves in the foot, that sounds familiar. And having bad higher-ups, that sounds familiar. Have you ever heard the name John Ferguson Jr.? Have you ever heard the name Dave Nonis? Oh, have you ever heard the name Brian Burke? Have you ever heard the name Brendan Shanahan? Have you ever heard the name Kyle Dubas? Lou Lamoriello? I won't go after Treliving at this point. Like the last good GM the Leafs had until Treliving was Pat Quinn. And then they replaced him for John Ferguson Jr. and then fired Pat Quinn 2 years later because he couldn't make the playoffs for the first time. They replaced him with Paul Maurice, which was a good move until they fired him for Ron Wilson. And then they didn't make the playoffs until they got Randy Carlyle. They fired Randy Carlyle, hired Peter Horachek, fired him, hired Mike Babcock, fired him, deservedly so, hired Sheldon Keefe, fired him, hired Craig Berube. Speaking of coaches, it's been about as long since they've had a good coach. They had Pat Quinn, Coach Pat Quinn, the big Irishman, not the governor of Illinois, not the former governor of Illinois. Two different people. Then they had Craig Berube. It's taken a while. So, I know how that feels. That'd be crazy. Suarez still has the magic. Well, good for him. But yeah, no, Cruz Azul. I said Cruz Azul was the Leafs. I said they were the same. There's a reason. I don't just say that randomly. They are the same. Like, no, they are. Like, if you look at it, header, if you look at it with how things have went for the past 30 years, it's the same. Historically, well, I think Cruz Azul's won more, but the Leafs won most of their stuff before there was 6 teams or less. But the Leafs have won cups. It's not like they haven't. They just haven't won one since '67. But, I mean, look at the Leafs. They have a long drought. They've had horrible GMs and coaches. Rest in peace to Pat Quinn. Yep, legend. Mr. Bubblegum. Yeah. 85th minute. He was a really good coach. Like, it was crazy. Like, Charlie Sharp and Longstaff are coming on. It was crazy because he won a series in 2004. He was not the last living coach to win a series for the Leafs when Sheldon Keefe won against the Lightning. That's crazy. Which means the coach that the Leafs won with was older and longer past. There before Quinn and Pat Quinn died. And yeah, that's cross in. Header. Goal! And there's a header goal for Nathan Harriel. 1-1. Nathan Harriel scores a header goal off the corner. 1-1. Yeah, I saw that coming. Yep. There you go. Nathan Harriel scores. Yep. 1-1. Cross in. He made a run and got the header. I mean, yeah, that was about to happen. 1-1, 87th minute. Probably a fair result, but that's Philadelphia. They refuse to be beaten. Yep, I understand that. Like, Toronto just, nope. 88th minute. Quality header, I agree. It was quality, I agree. Honestly, 1-1's probably a fair result. We're still above. And we're also still above DC and those guys as long as we pick up the point. But Coelho's off for Longstaff, 89th or 88th minute. Just hold on, boys. Just hold on. Don't do nothing stupid. 88th minute. Yep. There was their mistake. '88th minute. He's only playing 2 minutes plus whatever stoppage time there is. Cleared out for a corner. Oh, that's just no. Dallas are losing to Cincinnati now. Honestly, I think 1-1's a fair result. Do you need more if you're Toronto? Yeah. Do you want to hold that lead? Yeah, you do. But I think 1-1's a fair result with how this game played out. I think losing 2-1 would be unfair to Toronto. I think Toronto winning 2-1 is unfair to Philadelphia. Not that I would give a shit, but I don't know enough about it to speak about it. I just know that it's fake. That there was a situation and that it turned out to be fake. They think it's Leon. Yellow card for Baribo. I haven't been really able to read about it because I was watching the UEFA Conference League. I don't think I've ever been out to eat that late. Or like that early either. Maybe I've went to Denny's once, like at 3 or 4 in the morning. I don't think I've ever been somewhere at 11 p.m. or like midnight. Taco Bell. 90th minute. 1-1. How much stoppage time do we have? Just hold on, boys. Headed away. Cleared away. 90 minutes. Rolstead. 5 minutes of stoppage time. And Philly picks up that ball at the top of the box. Thanks, Rolstead, you idiot. Shot over the bar. Okay, well, that helps. Well, that sounds about right. Cool. Are you going to get the Champions League badge on it? Or just the Prem? Plus, it's Adidas. Yeah, that definitely, yeah. They do charge a lot for the jerseys. A little bit more than Nike does, or Umbro, or Macron. I think Adidas probably goes the highest, especially for authentics. I think you could buy an authentic Nike jersey for as much as you could buy a replica from Adidas. So Nike does a pretty... I want to see Inter win, but PSG is going to win. It's like the Man City final. I want to see Inter win that final, but they're not. It's exactly like that. It's out for a throw. I'll be wearing the Italy jersey on Saturday afternoon. They're not going to win, though. Same. Cross in. Sharp. What are you doing, man? Just clear the ball and right to a Union player. Goal. That's heartbreaking. 2-1 Philly. Took a horrible deflection, and it's 2-1. Oh, Lord. Of course. There's our first Tobias time goal of the season. And it's a heartbreaker. And it's a heartbreaker. Dude. It was going to happen at some point. And oh my God, what a heartbreaker. Kai Wagner with a crazy deflection goes into the back of the net. Let's watch. Kai Wagner takes the shot. It deflects off a Longstaff and in. Matty Longstaff's foot deflected it in. Bad clear by Sharp, which leads to a horrible deflection by Longstaff. Sean could do nothing about it, and that's a loss. It's going to be hard to beat Philly, and Toronto blew it. I blame Fraser. Call the Pirate. Call the Pirate, damn it. 90+2. I think Toronto got comfortable. I think they got too damn comfortable. And yeah, those were pointless changes. You don't fix what's not broken. And you were winning the game. Panthers tied at 2-2. You don't fix what's not broken. I'm sorry. You don't fix what's not broken. And he tried to fix what was not broken. And Atlanta and DC started tying. Jesus Christ. Well, they would have been above us with the draws anyway, but we're wasting time. We're wasting moments. We're going to be halfway through the season on Saturday. We're going to be halfway through the season on Saturday. 17 plus 17 is 34. Well, it's the Panthers. I'm not surprised. We're going to be halfway through the season on Saturday. I don't know if you realize that. Toronto's going to be halfway through the season on Saturday. That's their halfway mark. And, oh my. It ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. You had the lead. You don't change anything. You don't pull off the gas. This is Philadelphia. There's a reason why they're top of the East. That. They played their best 11, and you pulled off the gas and let them score 2 goals. A header you should have met, and a horrible, horrible deflection. And honestly, I'm not even that mad at Maddie. I'm not even that mad at him. That was a horrible deflection. That's why you put it on net. If you put something on net, it'll go in. Speaking of, you know what I hope Toronto learns about this during this game? If you put the ball on net, it might just go in. Shoot! If you shoot, it might just go in. Oso. They could have protected a draw there, but that's going to go out for a corner. Okay, we at least got a corner. Can we do some with it? To save a draw, can we get some off this corner? That'd be nice. Osorio. Cross. Header. And Rosted just heads it straight to the atmosphere. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. Spicer. And it gets blocked. Throw in. Why are you going to throw it right to the guy? Y'all are a joke. Headed away. And it's yellow card. A free kick for Toronto. Bedoya's on. Oh, Ali Bedoya. Oh, he's been on. Sean Johnson plays it over the top. Header. Headed away. Etienne Jr. takes a shot over the bar. That should be full time. Put the ball on net, maybe. No free kick yet? Are you kidding me? Or no full time yet? Are you kidding me? Now it's full time. Full time. Philly wins 1-2. Toronto finally gave up their first Tobias time goal of the season. How was that? That was a heartbreaker. They finally gave up their first Tobias time goal of the season. And Philly wins 2-1. Is it an unfair result for Toronto the way they played? Yeah, but you can't pull off the gas. You can't pull off the gas. Not like that. Especially when you have the lead. You don't change what's not broken. You push through the game. You get the points. You need them. Man, with that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with some family. All that great stuff. I will see you within the hour for the review. I ain't happy with that. Damn, I hate it for Winvo. Call the pirate. And yeah, MLSE doesn't know what they're doing. Robin Fraser doesn't know either. Should really call somebody who has all the answers, who's figured it all out. Call the pirate. With that being said, I'm running. I'm out. Peace.